YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. How are you? My name is Taylor. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. This is going to be my review of Ex Machina, the first 100 days. And also, stay tuned to see who the winner is from last week's review video of Scalped. So, you're going to watch. I'll let you know who won this. For now, we're going to talk about this. This is by well, it's a trade paperback. It's the first 5 issues of Ex Machina by Brian K. Vaughan and Tony Harris, with I think coloring by Tom. Let me open this up and double check. J.D. Metler on coloring and Tom Feister on inks. Yeah, and I don't. Somebody lettered this. I don't remember. I'm not going to go digging too hard into that. This is sort of Brian K. Vaughan's response to 9/11 and his feeling jaded with politics, and it was written back in 2004 and 5. That's when it started. So if he was jaded back then, I can only imagine how he's feeling today. But yeah, so this story is about Mitchell Hundred. There's gonna be some spoilers, so spoilers. Who is an engineer, civil engineer for the city of New York, and gets magical powers that can control machinery. And he calls himself the Great Machine. He is a superhero. He goes and saves things. He manages to prevent one of the buildings, one of the Twin Towers, from falling on 9/11 in this world. And, and then he, after doing some of that and getting mixed reviews, reception from the public, and where, he starts to realize some of his superheroics have consequences, like that endanger the lives of others and everything else. He decides that it'd be a better idea to run for governor of New York, and he wins. Or is it mayor? Is it governor or mayor? I don't know. Mayor. He runs for mayor, see? And he ends up winning in a landslide, and he's the mayor of New York City. So this is intertwining politics with superheroics and a dash of soap opera-ness. Words are hard, people. Yeah, and there are some elements that work in this. There are some elements that I think are a little bit dated. The control of machinery, it's definitely of its time. Like, he can control Bluetooth headsets and Palm Pilots, and also the mechanics in automatic weapons. But he can't control things like bow and arrows and that kind of things. But he uses this magical voice, or possibly it's alien voice, or possibly scientific. They don't really go into what. You learn how he got his powers, but you don't learn the source, if that makes sense, in this volume. And this is him as the Great Machine on the cover. And this is him as the mayor on the cover. And so, yeah, he runs as independent, and then he can stick to his guns and have his values and all that. And he'll get both sides to play together. And it actually, as jaded as it sounds in this book, I think it's even more ridiculous today, where like politics and the world are so divided and everything is political, including like a virus. And this has a sense of like this is where the world's heading, not with the virus or anything else, but it's like the division of politics and like the inability to get things done in office, and sort of like compromising of morals. All seems to be like there's seeds of that in this volume. It's not really truly developed yet. I mean, this is a 50-issue series. This is the first 5 issues. But there's this idea that corruption's going to happen. But we're trying to remain optimistic, or trying to keep your soul in the midst of and trying to do good and wade a path towards righteousness, no matter what side of the aisle it is, which is weirdly idealistic for somebody that claims to be jaded with politics, like Brian K. Vaughan did say that he was when he wrote this. It's I don't think this book could be getting written today for a couple of reasons, because, well, we're fairly far removed from 9/11, and while it is a pivotal point in U.S. history and stuff, I think looking back on it now, there's a little bit of a different lens that the world has, and so it's of its time in that regard. And then the superheroic aspect of that's interesting and stuff. And I like this idea of where, like, the idea that the superheroes aren't the ones that are doing a lot of good, but the idea that a mayor of New York is like the progression of like doing more good. I don't know if that would necessarily happen today. I think we live in such a corporate oligarchy that possibly being like, president of CEO of Amazon has the power to do more good than, say, some politicians. Just saying. But instead, you can build a penis rocket. There are some tonal things that I don't think would happen today. But overall, this story is an entertaining romp. It is collected digitally in on DC Unlimited. So I'm going to read the rest of this digitally, and I've already read a few issues past this because it's enjoyable enough to keep me going. I'm going to give this away, so stay tuned a little bit further. You can win this one too. But yeah, it's a. I mean, there's some nitpicking to it, and there's some things that like Tony Daniels' art I enjoy, but it does seem a bit stiff sometimes, and I've learned the reason for that. And there's some interesting little extras at the end of this that sort of make me maybe realize why his art feels a bit stiff to me. It's because almost pretty much everything is a photo reference. So he'll line up these scenes, shoot photos, and then not trace, but like use them as very heavy reference to making his pencils. And so I think with some of that, you get like an accuracy that is good, but that accuracy doesn't necessarily always translate well to comics. As far as like a fluid sense of motion, it's not bad. I enjoy Daniel's art, but it does. There are just scenes that it does just feel a little bit too stiff and like he's possibly tracing ish. I don't think he is, but it just like has that sense of like. When the actions are all lined up that way, there's not necessarily room for like exaggeration that is sometimes necessary in storytelling in comics. So yeah, but there's a lot of other questions in here that are raised. Like there's questions of race and freedom of expression, freedom of art, all that kind of stuff. And then how the best way to help humanity is like school vouchers versus charter schools, that kind of thing, or public schools, or what's the mayor does reference. Mitchell Hunter does wrestle with some of this, which is nice. I'm much like I'm wrestling with my words, and yeah, but there are things that like that today are sort of not like necessarily settled because nothing in this world is really settled, but in this, there's this controversy involving possibly the mayor presiding over a gay marriage. That doesn't actually take place in this book, but there's a controversy of that. The idea that the mayor presiding over that or officiating that would be seen as extremely controversial and detrimental to politics. In 2005, that was the case. In 2021 or the end of 21, probably not so much. I mean, I get it. It's still controversial in parts of the world, but like. Hopefully we're moving past some of that. I'd like to think so anyways. But yeah, who knows? It's in ways this is a depressing read because you realize like we've not really come that far in 15 years and like the issues that are presented here are still issues and like the things that like the main character is wrestling have not been solved at all. So there's a bit of like you read this and you kind of sigh like we should be further along. And we're not. But that said, it does have the big thing that I look for in a comic, and that is to keep you wanting to read more. And so I have been reading more. And I'd like to give somebody else a chance to read this. So how am I going to give this away? Well, let's see here. First, you have to be a follower of mine on the YouTube channel. Second, you have to hit the like button on this video. And third, just leave a comment down below. Today is December 20th. I'm going to, the next video will drop on December 27th, and that'll let you know who the winner is. But leave a comment down below. Just leave a comment down below saying, not really comic related, but something that the world should have solved in the past 20 years that hasn't. I know it's a bitter and weird thing to edit, but I'm just curious to your opinions in the matter. So just, leave a comment in the comment section. Something that the world could have solved, but hasn't. And I'll pick a winner from there. U.S. residents only. I'll ship it out to you. If you want to pay for shipping internationally, let me know. But it's kind of prohibitively expensive. You're better off just getting a subscription to DC Unlimited and reading the series online in that case. But I will ship it out in the U.S. And speaking of which, that leaves. Oh, and to find out the winner, much like the winner of this book, you have to watch the next week's video. So on December 27th, you have to watch that video to find out if you won this. I'm not going to reach out to anybody. I'm not going to get a hold of you. But if you did win, like this book, like Mr. Gary Woods, or I don't know what the pronoun is, but Gary Woods, you won this. Get a hold of me on Instagram at Empty Thought Balloon, or drop a DM in the comments, and we'll figure out how to get a hold of each other, and I'll ship this out to you. So yes, Gary Woods, you won this, and see, that's how easy it is. You just have to keep watching, and that's part of why I'm doing this. That's the idea of you may not have necessarily read the series, you may not have interest in it, but if you want to find out if you won last week's one, you gotta keep watching, folks. I can try to hook you in. Trying to be so operatic, trying to have engaging content. I don't know if I'm succeeding. I'm probably not. Actually, no, I'm not. I've got a stack of books that nobody's ever claimed because I never watched the follow-up video. It is what it is. Maybe I'll have a mass giveaway of some of those next year. We'll see. Maybe. I don't know. Haven't figured that out yet. I'm just rambling off the cuff. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. Have a good holidays. Try good luck surviving this mess, and even if you're trapped in a world that's not where it should be, and we should have progressed further in 20 years. Don't be a dick about it. See ya.